It's me, it's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. All right, guys, so someone sent me a message, and she said, do Aquarius indulge in escapism? So you guys know, the first thing I need is a good working definition. So let's see, what exactly is escapism? Well, the Aquarius is always being accused of something. What are we being accused of today? Today we're being accused of the tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. Well, first of all, I would say that everybody on the planet engages in some form of escapism. Everybody seeks distraction and relief from unpleasant realities. Nobody says, hey, unpleasant realities are here, let's deal with them. You know, everybody seeks distraction, relief, or they just simply try to handle them and get them dealt with if they can do anything to fix them or, change them, So I would say that everybody indulges in this. Now, what about Aquarius? I think Aquarius, Scorpio, and Pisces would indulge in this a lot, extremely, extremely. But I do think this is something that we all indulge in. And as a matter of fact, I think it's healthy to get distraction and relief from just your everyday life sometimes. It's healthy to go on vacation. It's healthy to go on a retreat. It's healthy to have a glass of wine after work. It's healthy to do those kinds of things. You're not supposed to be on all the time. So I think the problem comes in if you're always distracted and seeking relief. For instance, we all know addicts. I'll give a perfect example. We all know an addict who's living with some enabler somewhere, somewhere around the globe. And this person is escaping 24 hours a day. Basically, that's what happens. See, a little escapism is one thing, but when you're constantly escaping, when you get lost in your whatever your distraction is, and a lot of times for many of us, the distraction is alcohol or is drugs or is something like that. And it really doesn't matter what it is. It could be fantasy. It could be anything. Role-playing games, for example. I know people who are stuck in their role-playing game all the time and very rarely come out to reality. So I think that when it becomes too much is when it becomes a problem. And in most cases, it becomes an addiction. So there is some person, some poor person somewhere, some addict right now, addicted to something, fantasy, drugs, alcohol, something, living off of an enabler somewhere. And this person got that way through escapism, and whatever they were escaping with, they got an addiction to. So escapism, like I said, is something that's normal, but if it goes unchecked, it could become an addiction. So what does this have to do with Aquarius? Well, first of all, if you guys really think about it, Aquarius like drugs. Aquarius like drugs. Aquarius like alcohol. And I'm not saying all of us do, but many of the Aquarius I know are, they smoking, they drinking, they doing both, or they're doing something well beyond, Think about Rick James. Rick James had 9 different drugs in his system when he died. 9. Like, really, Rick? You couldn't have did 1 or 2? You needed 9? So when they go to that level, when whatever they're using for relief and distraction becomes an addiction, because it doesn't have to become an addiction. You could have a glass of wine every night after dinner and go to bed. And that could be your relief and, your distraction from your unpleasant job or whatever the case is, But also, like I said, you can engage in something so frequently that you're not in reality anymore and they leave the rest of us. And we all know people like this. These people are a lot of times addicted. Sometimes they're even homeless. Sometimes they're staying from place to place. We all know a person whose escapism has taken them to that route. If not personally, we've seen them on television. All you got to do is watch that show, Intervention. I love that show. All you got to do is watch Intervention, and you'll see people who their escapism, whatever it was, became an addiction. And it's not just things like that. It could be coffee. It could be shopping. It could be sex. So there are a number of things like this, and people will point out certain ones, such as alcohol, but a lot of people have different ones. Ordering online, for example. I know some people that are really addicted to sitting there and ordering online, and that is their form of escapism, or just being online for a lot of people is a form of escapism. They might do it for hours or days at a time. you know, and that's very common for Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign that a lot of us do indulge in those kind of things. And why is that? Well, Aquarius, our minds are like always going, a lot of us are always going. Some of us are leaders. Some of us have really difficult jobs because we're humanitarians and we're working with the public. So a lot of times when you come across Aquarius, we have stress-filled lives. A lot of us anyway. And who is using escapism? Those who need a distraction and relief from their stressed out, unpleasant reality. So for a lot of Aquarius, that's what it is. And for some of us, it's not even unpleasant. It's not even an unpleasant reality. It's just a stressful reality. So you do get this a lot with Aquarius, especially those Aquarius who are leaders, leading the pack, Some of those Aquarius, they indulge in all kinds of like BDSM, all kinds of like role play, fantasy kind of stuff just to escape distress. Not so much they have an unpleasant life, but a lot of stress. So this is very common for Aquarius, and that's why you might hear escapism come up with Aquarius. I hear it come up a lot with Pisces and Scorpio, because especially when you're talking about the Pisces tell me that sometimes they don't even feel like they belong on this planet. Like they feel like just the day-to-day mundane things that they have to do are so heavy. They feel like they don't even belong here, and they tell me they indulge in a lot of escapism as well. But yeah, I do definitely see this with Aquarius. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think everybody does it. I think everybody does it in some type of way. You have healthy ways and you have non-healthy ways. And even healthy ways can become non-healthy if they are abused. So if you're using a video game, for example, to escape your stressful reality or your unpleasant reality, and you're playing it and you're not paying attention to your kids, you're not paying attention to your family, you're not going places with them, you're just always in this game. And I was married to a Capricorn, and that was one of the things he did all the time. He would always escape into a new game, a new video game, or, a new RPG game or something like that. And then he wanted to come back to reality and, play husband and then go back to his game, And it was one of the things that greatly affected all of his relationships, not just with me, but with his child and with his mom and with his friends, unless they could do the game together, which is where the RPGs came in. But, you can't just sit around playing games all the time, That's the reality of life. So, again, this isn't a drug or alcohol or anything along those lines, but it is something that was detrimental to his life, to his quality of life. So, yeah, this is something that Aquarius definitely can be accused of at times. But like I said, Aquarius, don't feel bad about it. Nobody should feel bad about seeking relief when times are stressful or unpleasant. Just don't let it take over your life. Okay? That's the thing. Whatever you're using to relieve yourself, don't let it take over your life. Don't let it become something that is detrimental to your life. Okay? Thank you so much for that great question. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know somebody that's wondering about this topic, or maybe never even heard of this topic, pass this video on to them. Likewise, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. If you would like to send me a love donation, I will leave my PayPal. If you would like to get me a gift from Amazon, I will leave my Amazon wish list. And let me see what else. Come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.